Okay, this is the final part of this video. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in our final gear into the gear system. We're going to mesh it, we're going to align it, and then what we're going to do is we are going to add the motion links. Obviously my overall design, I'll put the link to it so you can download it in the description on this video. Let's have a look in Fusion. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to bring in the final gear into this gear system. Just a quick note, I've played around with the middle shaft here and I've threaded it either side. Again, I'll put my link into the description for you to be able to see this, what I've done. So here I'm going to go create. I'm going to create a spur gear. This time, for this final one here, I'm going to have 12 teeth on it, and I am going to click OK. What I need to do now is I need to move this into position. So if I move this, I'm going to click the move and copy button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this component here. Now, on here, you can eyeball this. This is what I tend to do in here. And if I move this, I've got 150. And in here, I think when I played around with this earlier, I ended up with 155. Now, you can work this out, but I guess kind of the key thing here is as long as you've got these kind of green dotted lines and they're not overlapping, then you're not going to get crunchy crunch gears. I do need to change a couple of other things. I need to change my Z distance. So I'm going to change this one here to -5. And the reason for that one there is so as these gears will align with each other in the Z plane. In terms of my Z angle, I want to mesh them into each other. So I'm going to use the same process that I used earlier. If I delete this, I'm going to do this by formula. So if I put in here bracket 360, whoops, not 306, 360 divided by 12, and I'm going to do this for half a tooth. So if I divide that by 2, and all of a sudden now what you'll see that these are meshed in. I'm going to capture the position on that, and I'm going to click OK. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in some threads on here. I'm going to put in the shaft for this one, and then I'm going to do the motion links. So I'll come back after I put the shaft in, and I'll show you how to do the final motion link, and then we are finished. And all we've got to do is share it on our social media to show that we are really cool. Okay, final bit. So what I've done here is I have added the shaft onto the final gear, and I've also threaded the inside, offset the faces, offset the face of the shaft as well, so then you 3D print it, it's going to nicely mesh together. And also what I've done here is I've pinned this central shaft here. So I've gone right click, pin. There's no pressure on me, I've got to get this right. I've done all the rest in one take. Let's see if I can do the rest in one take. So what I need to do is I need to go assemble as built joint. And this point here, I need to select, I'm going to join between here and here. And I'm going to snap it to the top. If you look at this, it's turning anti-clockwise. I'll leave that okay for now. The only thing I need to do now is I need to tie this gear into this gear here. So I need to go assemble, and I need to do a motion link again. I need to link between this joint and this joint. Now, on here, what you'll notice that this one is rotating clockwise. This one is anti-clockwise, so technically that is what would happen. However, on there, they're not spinning at the right speeds. Now, this is where we need to learn a little bit about gears, and gears work on ratios. So I've got a 42-toothed gear interfacing with a 12-toothed gear. 42-toothed gear is really hard to say. So what I need to do is I need to work out what my gear ratio is. Now, if you divide 42 into 12, you end up with 3.5. So actually what I need to do is this one here needs to spin 3.5 multiples of the other one. At which point, all of a sudden, you have now got your gear train. And obviously, right the way through here, you can work out what is going to be your overall gear ratio. So for every one rotation of here, how many rotations of here are you going to get? Whether it is going to be a system that is going to increase your velocity ratio. Obviously, if you're going the other way, it is possible to put your handle on this small gear here and therefore spin the final end. But everyone's happy. The link to my model is going in the description. You can download that, have a look at what I've done. Tell me if I've done it wrong. I'm sure there's things that aren't quite right, but generally that's the overview. I hope you've enjoyed this little series, and there'll be much more to come. Catch you in a bit.